all know that project builds are about much more than just a pile of steel and parts. Really, they're about the friendships and the bonds that are formed along the way. Today we visit with the shop tackling our 1936 Ford Rod Authority project build to learn more about their history and what makes them tick. Check out this behind the scenes look at Image Street Rods and stay tuned as we continue to bring you updates on our project flat out build.
I started working at a shop, California Custom Roadsters in Orange County when I was 11 or 12, sweeping the floors and just wanted to be around the cars. That just kind of showed me where I wanted to go and how custom things could be. My dad was a huge influence. We always had cars in the garage. He painted dragsters in the garage when I was really little. I think this shop wants to build things that not everybody's building and just be really custom, but you ride that fine line of not crossing the boundary, but really just pushing it to keep you on the cutting edge of everything. My name's Keith Vander Meulen. I'm the owner of Image Street Rods and Customs here in Santa Maria. I own it with my wife, Misty, and we build hot rods. We opened the shop in 2000, but prior to that we were building cars in a small 2-car garage. We just build them and sell them, and before you know it, people were asking us to build them cars, and it was a kind of push from my wife, just like, we're gonna do a shop and just start rolling on it. So I just followed her lead and we're building cars, and the shop keeps growing every year, and we're building better and better cars, and everything's just going great. Building cars for customers became the hardest part of the job. When you build a car for yourself, you kind of have a sight in your head that I want this wheel, I want this color, I want this everything, and you kind of play it out in your head how it's going to look when it's done. When you're building it with a customer, they have to come in and tell you how to get that vision. And in reality, they become great friends of ours, and each customer seems to become a friend. We really strive to keep that. In the business operations, me and Misty have a connection that you don't get with everybody. When I'm up, she's down, or vice versa, or we're always running in the same direction. You gotta have someone to bounce your ideas off of. You gotta have that person, and it's Misty with me. That's how we do it.
Every shop has big ideas, and my husband has quite a few of them.
I'm that guy that gets real excited about things real quick, and she's there to, hey, let's back up and regroup on that before we do that.
Sometimes I have to contain them a little bit and keep it a little at bay.
Or I'm also that guy that doesn't really want to head in that direction. She's like, well, here's why. And
he wanted to put off-the-shelf, round, whatever, headers on there. I said, really? You went all out on the exhaust and you're gonna just do that? That started the wheels turning. So all of a sudden, hours and hours before West Coast show, here a local show, got it finished in time, and they were amazing.
We built them as a visual thing, and they've really taken a life of its own. They've gained horsepower, they've done things that we have no idea why they've done it. We're not engineers, we're just really cool shop guys. Some of the highlights that we've had here at Image Street Rods, we finished up a car for a customer. All we did was he just came in and said, hey, I want to sell it. I want to put it in auction and I want to sell it. So we got it running. It hadn't ran in 5 years. We buffed the paint out and did a quick turnaround on it. And when we went to give it back to him, he decided he wasn't going to sell it, that he liked it. And we dropped that car off, and he went into his storage and pulled out a 1939 Graham Page shark nose and said, okay, here's your next one, and just pulled it into the trailer and parked it. And so that ended up being a ground up restoration on a very limited number car, and that car went on to win a Concours d'Elegance show in Connecticut. The first car I built wasn't really for Image Street rods. It was for me in the garage. It was a 1930 Ford Roadster. Just got the car done. Misty got pregnant with our first son, Bryce. And once that happened, we realized, well, 3 people won't fit in a Roadster. So that car went up for sale and sold it and started on the next one. And we decided on the next one that we're gonna build the frame, we're gonna build everything we possibly can, and decided to go with a 4-seater touring car, which is our 1932 Ford Phaeton, which is our personal car. And that's pretty much why we built it, because we had to fit the kids in the back. And as we were building it, decided to set the standards a little bit higher. Every washer on it, there's no round washers. We plasmaed out diamonds to make for the washers, the mirrors. The top was handmade by us. There's just so many aspects of that car that we just kept pushing the envelope. And by the time it was done, before we knew it, we were runner-up at the America's Most Beautiful Roadster. The Image Street Rod standard, I'll just be blunt, I think it's higher than everybody else's. At least I like to think it is. We strive for the best. We strive for that return customer. We don't want one guy to come in and you never see him again. We want him to come back with bigger and better projects every time. And in order to do so, you got to surround yourself with good people. But I think as far as the future goes, man, I just want to keep pushing that envelope. I want to keep pushing the boundaries and just keep our sport or our hobby alive, man. That's the way it goes. And that's, give it to my kids and let them push that envelope a little bit further.